Okay, so get this. You've been digging into humanoid robots, articles about Tesla's Optimus, market projections, crazy numbers, and probably like a whole YouTube deep dive spiral, right?
Yeah, it's easy to get sucked in. It's a hot topic.
Definitely. And you're probably looking for like the signal and the noise. So, good news. We have an expert here who can help us kind of cut through the hype and figure out what's actually going on.
It is a really fascinating time to be following this field. The advancements are coming so quickly. It feels like every week there's like some new breakthrough or like these wild predictions that make the headlines.
Speaking of predictions, let's talk about Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
His claim that there'll be more humanoid robots than people by 2040.
Yeah.
10 billion robots.
Yeah.
Is he just being like his usual optimistic self, or is there something to this?
It's a bold statement for sure, and like you said, it really hinges on a couple of key things. First, the assumption that AI development is going to keep going at this crazy pace that we're seeing now. And then second, that we'll be able to manufacture robots at a scale we've just never seen before.
Wow.
Goldman Sachs, they're projecting a market size of $38 billion by 2035.
Wow, that's...
And that's a huge leap from previous estimates. I mean, it's a really clear indicator that investors, they're betting big on this tech.
So is Optimus, Tesla's robot, going to be the one to lead this charge? Musk has called it the biggest product of any kind ever.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's setting the bar high.
It really does. But, Tesla isn't the only one in this game.
Okay.
There are companies like Figure AI, Aptronic. They're also developing humanoid robots.
Yeah.
And each of them is taking a slightly different approach.
Right.
So Figure AI, for example, they're focusing heavily on robots that can just like seamlessly integrate into human work environment.
Interesting.
Whereas Aptronic, they're prioritizing dexterity and mobility, so a wider range of tasks.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not a one-horse race.
Nope.
But let's get back to Optimus for a second. I gotta admit, that video of it dancing at the Wii robot event, pretty impressive.
I know, right?
It even did the robot dance move. Like,
It's pretty clever.
it was very...
It was a really smart marketing move for sure. But we have to remember, those robots were being teleoperated.
Oh, okay.
So there were actual humans controlling their movements behind the scenes.
Ah, gotcha.
The point was to just showcase its potential, not necessarily what it can actually do right now.
Okay, so more of a like choreographed demo
Yeah,
than a true display of its AI.
exactly.
Makes sense. Still, there were other videos showing it, picking up objects, carrying boxes, even handing out snacks.
Right.
Is that stuff legit?
Yeah, those demos were much closer to its actual capabilities.
Okay.
We know Optimus can lift about 24 pounds
Oh, wow.
and can do basic tasks like sorting objects and placing them in trays. There are even like reports of 2 Optimus robots working on the Tesla factory floor,
No way.
although no one really knows what they're actually doing there.
That's so interesting. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
The real test is going to be when limited production starts next year, like Musk promised.
That's right.
Limited production 25, volume production in 26. Very ambitious timelines.
Yeah, very ambitious, even for him.
If they can pull it off, it would be a huge game changer. Imagine thousands of these robots working alongside humans in factories all over the world.
It's an interesting vision. And it really does kind of speak to this broader trend of robots moving from industrial settings into our homes and our everyday lives.
Hold on. Robots in our homes?
Yeah.
Are we talking robot butlers serving us cocktails?
Well,
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
maybe not cocktails just yet,
Okay.
but the market for domestic robots, it is heating up.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. We're already seeing robots that can vacuum, mow our lawns,
Yeah, that's true.
even fold laundry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In 2020, the market was valued at almost $7 billion.
Wow.
And it's projected to grow at an annual rate of over 25%.
That's huge.
It's a really clear sign that people are ready to welcome robots into their homes.
Okay, I'll admit, the idea of a robot doing my chores while I relax with a good book, that does sound pretty appealing.
Right.
But aren't these domestic robots still kind of limited in what they can actually do?
Wow.
I mean, we've all seen those videos, robots failing spectacularly,
Yeah.
bumping into walls, dropping stuff,
Yeah.
behaving more like confused toddlers than helpful assistants.
I know, those videos can be entertaining,
They are.
but they also show a key challenge in robotics,
Okay.
which is just the pure complexity of the real world.
Yeah.
It's one thing for a robot to perform a task in a lab in a very controlled environment, but it's another thing entirely to navigate, a typical chaotic home.
Yeah, kids, pets, furniture in random places. Yeah. Fine
Exciting.
field for a robot.
It is. So how do we get from these kind of clunky prototypes to these truly helpful, like versatile domestic robots of the
Yeah,
future?
how do we do that?
Well, that's where AI and machine learning come in. These technologies, they allow robots to learn from their experiences, adapt to new situations, and even like start to anticipate our needs.
Oh, wow.
Imagine a robot that can not only clean your house, but also like learn your preferences.
Okay.
Which rooms you want cleaned most often, what time of day you like it to run,
Right.
how to avoid like startling your cat.
Okay, now you're talking. A robot that understands my cat's boundaries?
Right.
That's the kind of AI I can get behind.
Yeah, that's the one.
But let's be honest. Even with those advancements, interacting with a robot can still be, like, a little awkward. It's not like talking to another person, you know?
It's true. And it brings up a really critical aspect of robotics development, which is human-robot interaction.
Okay.
To really integrate robots into our lives, they need to be more intuitive,
Right.
user-friendly.
Uh-huh.
We need robots that can understand our spoken commands, our gestures, maybe even respond to our emotions
Oh, wow.
in a way that feels natural and comfortable.
So it's not just about the robot's physical capabilities. It's about its ability to connect with us on a human level.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And it's a challenge that researchers are working on from many different angles, using everything from like natural language processing to facial recognition tech
Wow.
to create robots that are more socially adept.
Okay, so we got robots that can dance, robots that can sort objects,
Ah.
robots that are learning to be more like us. What's next? Flying robot butlers.
You know, that might be pushing it,
Okay.
but there is one emerging technology that could revolutionize robotics in ways we could barely imagine.
Okay, hit me with it.
Quantum computing.
Quantum computing. That sounds like straight out of Star Trek.
I know, right?
I'm intrigued, but I gotta admit, I don't really get what it is or how it could impact robots.
So think of it this way. Quantum computers, they can process information exponentially faster than the computers we use now.
Okay.
Imagine a robot that can analyze data, make decisions,
Yeah.
learn at a speed that is millions of times faster than anything we can achieve right now.
Wow.
That's the transformative power that quantum computing could bring to robotics.
Robots with super speed brains.
Basically.
I'm hooked.
Good.
Tell me more.
Well, the applications are vast. Quantum computers could allow robots to do really complex tasks that are just impossible right now.
Okay.
Like real-time medical diagnosis,
Wow.
intricate surgical procedures,
Okay.
even really advanced scientific research.
So it's not just about robots getting faster or stronger. It's about them becoming exponentially smarter.
Exactly. They're able to think on a whole new level.
All right. That's both exciting and kind of terrifying.
I know.
But before we get too lost in these future possibilities, let's bring it back to the present.
Okay.
I know Tesla and Optimus are out there, but I know there are other companies doing some amazing things in robotics.
You're absolutely right. The robotics landscape is incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of companies pushing the boundaries in their own unique ways. One that really impresses me is Boston Dynamics.
Oh, yeah. Boston Dynamics.
They've been at the forefront of this for years.
Uh-huh.
And their robots are really known for their, agility, dexterity.
Right.
And frankly, their ability to kind of make us like gasp in awe and maybe even a little bit of fear.
Yeah, their robots are practically internet celebrities at this point. I've seen videos of Atlas, their humanoid robot, doing backflips and parkour. It's amazing.
It's pretty incredible.
What sets them apart from other robotics companies?
They're really focused on pushing the limits of what's physically possible with a robot.
Okay.
They're constantly innovating in areas like, locomotion, balance, dynamic control.
Yeah.
And their robots, they can navigate like really complex, challenging terrain with a grace and athleticism that's mind-blowing.
So they're like the Olympic athletes of the robot world.
Yeah, I like that.
Always pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, always striving for that peak performance.
It's inspiring in a way.
It is.
Makes you realize how far robotics has come in such a short time.
It really does. And it's not just about like pushing the limits of physicality.
Yeah.
They're also making big strides in areas like AI and machine learning.
Right.
Which is ultimately going to make their robots even more versatile and capable.
So we've got Tesla aiming for mass production of humanoid robots, Figure AI focusing on integration with human workspaces,
Yeah.
Boston Dynamics pushing the limits of what robots can physically do. It seems like every company is taking its own unique approach
Yeah.
to this like rapidly evolving field. What does all this mean for the future of robotics? Where do you see this tech heading in the next 5, 10, even 20 years?
That's the million-dollar question.
It
I
is.
don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's safe to say the next few decades are going to be a time of just incredible innovation and like disruption in the field of robotics. We're going to see robots become even more integrated into our lives at home and at work.
Right.
They're going to get more intelligent, more adaptable, and just more capable of doing the things that, we used to think only humans could do.
And that brings us back to that like fundamental question.
Yeah.
Are we on the cusp of a robot revolution? Is this the start of a new era where humans and robots coexist, collaborate, and maybe even compete in ways that we just can't even imagine yet?
That's a question that's both like exhilarating and kind of unsettling.
Yeah, it is.
But I think it's a question that we really need to be asking ourselves.
Yeah.
Because the answers, they're going to shape the future of our world and our place in it.
Okay, that's enough to give me some serious food for thought.
Good.
But before we get too deep into like the philosophical implications of all this, let's look at some of the specific details you got from those articles and videos you were looking at.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm sure there are some hidden gems we haven't even touched on yet.
Oh, for sure. Some of them are really mind-blowing. Like in that Cleaner White YouTube video,
Uh-huh.
there's a section about Optimus and its ability to learn from the experiences of other robots.
Wait, robots sharing knowledge? Is that even possible?
It sounds like sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually happening. The video explains how each Optimus robot can create this detailed video map of its surroundings.
Okay.
It captures not just, like, the layout, but also information about objects, people, even events that happen nearby.
Wow.
And these video maps, they get uploaded to a central database
Okay.
where they can be accessed and analyzed by other robots.
So it's like a giant shared memory bank for robots.
Exactly.
They're learning from each other's experiences.
That's right. It's a form of distributed learning
Uh-huh.
that lets them pick up knowledge and skills much faster than they could on their own.
Wow.
Imagine a robot that's never encountered stairs before.
Right.
By accessing these video maps, it can immediately know how to navigate them safely.
That's incredible.
It's like they're building a collective intelligence.
like a hive mind for robots.
Yeah, something like that. And the implications of that are huge.
Right. Huge.
This kind of shared learning could really speed up the development of robotics in ways we could barely imagine.
Wow.
It could lead to robots that are more adaptable, more resilient,
Okay.
better at solving complex problems in the real world.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This is like next level stuff.
I know, it's crazy.
But before we go any further down this rabbit hole, let's shift gears for a second, talk about another aspect of robotics
Sure.
that's both fascinating and kind of controversial.
Okay.
The potential impact on the workforce.
Yeah, that's a big one. And one that often gets lost in all the excitement over the latest tech.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the cool factor of like robots doing backflips or serving us coffee.
For sure.
But we also need to be thinking about like the real world implications
Absolutely.
on people's jobs, their livelihoods.
It's a crucial consideration. As robots become more capable and more affordable, they are increasingly able to do the jobs that human workers are currently doing.
And that raises some tough questions.
It does.
Will robots create more jobs than they displace?
Right.
Will we have to rethink how we approach education and job training? Will we see a rise in inequality because some workers are just left behind?
Those are such complex issues.
They are.
And there are no easy answers. But
Yeah.
I think it's important to be having these conversations now
Right.
before automation gets so widespread that it's hard to, like, change course.
Yeah, I agree. We need to be proactive in addressing the potential challenges,
Yeah.
but also recognizing the potential benefits.
Of course. I mean, robots could free us from dangerous, repetitive, boring tasks, allowing us to focus on more creative and fulfilling work.
Right. That's the hope.
Exactly. The key is finding that balance, harnessing the power of robotics in a way that benefits all of humanity, not just a select few. We also can't forget the impact on, our sense of self.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What happens when we're surrounded by machines that can outperform us in so many ways?
Yeah, it makes you think, right? Like, does it diminish our own value, our
Uh-huh.
purpose? I mean, we're already seeing people forming emotional attachments to their robot vacuums,
Right.
giving them names,
I've seen that.
treating them almost like pets.
That's true.
So what happens when robots become even more sophisticated, even more lifelike?
It really does raise questions about, like, the very nature of intelligence.
Okay.
Consciousness, are we, just complex machines ourselves?
Whoa.
Or is there something unique, something special about human consciousness?
Okay, now we're getting deep.
Right.
But
Yeah.
these are important questions to think about as we enter this new era of human-robot interaction.
Definitely. And it's not just philosophical, right?
Okay.
These questions have practical implications for how we design, develop, and regulate these technologies.
Yeah, like, should robots have rights? Should they be held accountable for their actions? It's like we're entering this uncharted territory.
It is.
We need to figure out the rules of the game as we go.
We do. It's a challenge, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
We have the chance to really shape the future of robotics in a way that benefits everyone.
Right, absolutely. And speaking of benefits, let's go back to this mind-blowing idea of quantum computing.
Okay.
You mentioned it could revolutionize robotics,
Ah.
but I'm still trying to grasp how that would actually work in practice.
So imagine this. A robot surgeon,
Okay.
it can analyze a patient's entire medical history,
Uh-huh.
their genetic makeup, real-time vital signs in just seconds,
Wow.
and then come up with a personalized treatment plan that's super accurate.
That's incredible.
That's the kind of power we're talking about with quantum computing.
So it's not just about speed.
Right.
It's about being able to handle these massive amounts of data
Yes.
and make complex decisions that, like, a normal computer just couldn't.
Exactly. Quantum computers can tackle problems that are impossible even for the most powerful supercomputers we have today.
That's amazing.
They could allow robots to do things like drug discovery, materials, science research, even climate modeling,
Wow.
with a level of precision and efficiency that we just can't even imagine right now.
Okay, so we're talking about robots with, like, superpowers.
In a way,
Yes. But let's be realistic. Quantum computing, it's still in its early stages, right?
it is.
So when can we actually expect to see these kinds of applications?
It's true. Quantum computing is still a young field.
Yeah.
There are some big technical challenges to overcome. But progress is happening quickly.
Okay.
Companies like Google, IBM, Microsoft, they're investing heavily,
Uh-huh.
and we're seeing breakthroughs all the time.
So quantum-powered robots could be a reality in our lifetime.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe 10 years, maybe 20, but I have no doubt it's going to happen.
Okay, I'm officially adding quantum robotics expert to my list of dream jobs.
Good choice.
But let's shift gears again for a bit.
Okay.
Talk about something a little less futuristic,
Sure.
but equally important,
Yeah?
the ethical considerations around robots.
Yeah, that's important. We touched on it earlier,
Did you say?
but it deserves a deeper dive for sure.
Absolutely. As robots become more integrated into our lives, we really need to think about those potential risks
Yeah.
and unintended consequences.
For sure. So one concern is bias.
Okay.
AI systems are trained on huge data sets.
Uh-huh.
And if those data sets reflect existing biases in society,
Right.
well, the robots could end up perpetuating those biases.
Oh, wow.
Imagine a robot that's designed to screen job applicants,
Okay.
but it accidentally discriminates against certain groups of people.
Right, like based on race or gender.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a scary thought, like those sci-fi movies where robots enforce inequality.
It's a valid concern,
Yeah.
and it's something researchers and developers are working hard to address. But it highlights how important it is to think carefully and test thoroughly to make sure robots are designed and used fairly.
Right, we don't want robots amplifying the worst parts of human nature.
Definitely not. We need them to help us be better, not worse.
Exactly. And that leads to another ethical consideration.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Right.
Who's responsible when a robot malfunctions or causes harm? The manufacturer, the programmer, the user, the robot itself?
That's a tough question.
It is.
It's like a legal and philosophical puzzle.
Yeah,
There's no easy answer,
right.
but it's a question we need to deal with as robots become more autonomous, capable of making decisions that impact human lives.
So it's not just about building cool robots.
Oh.
It's about building responsible robots.
Yeah, I know.
Robots that are aligned with our values and enhance our lives, without compromising our safety or our humanity.
Well said. And it's not just about the tech itself.
Right.
It's about the people who create it and the systems we have in place to govern its use.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture here.
Good.
It's not just about the robots, it's about us.
It is.
Our choices, our values, our vision for the future.
Exactly. And the choices we make today, they're shaping the world of tomorrow.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
Okay, that's enough existential dread for one day. But before we get lost in the what-ifs, let's bring it back to the sources.
Okay.
Any other nuggets of wisdom?
Oh yeah, there are. And one in particular really stood out from that Cleaner Watt video.
Okay.
It's about Optimus's hands.
Optimus's hands. What's so special about them?
It highlighted their new Generation 3 hands,
Okay.
which have 22 degrees of freedom.
22 degrees of freedom.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds impressive, but break it down for me.
Think about all the subtle movements your own hands can make.
Uh-huh.
Picking up a tiny object, threading a needle, typing.
Yeah.
Those all require a lot of dexterity. Optimus's new hands, they're designed to do just that.
So robots doing tasks we thought were impossible for machines.
Exactly. Things that need fine motor skills, a delicate touch, understanding how objects work together.
That opens up so many possibilities.
It does.
I can see robots being used in everything from manufacturing and assembly to, like, healthcare, even creative fields, art, music.
You're getting it. And it's not just about the hands themselves.
Right.
It's about how that advanced hardware combines with sophisticated AI,
Yeah.
allowing them to interact with the world in these really subtle ways.
Okay, I'm getting excited. But let's step back for a second
Okay.
and think about, like, the bigger implications. If robots can do things we thought were uniquely human, what does that mean for us?
That's a big question.
It is.
I don't think anyone has a definitive answer,
Right.
but it's definitely something we need to be asking.
Yeah, it's not just about the tech. It's about how we choose to use it.
Right.
What kind of future we're building.
Exactly. And that brings us to the core of this whole deep dive.
Okay.
It's not just about learning about robots.
Right.
It's about learning about ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for more introspection.
Good.
But before we get too philosophical, did we miss anything from those sources?
You know, there's one more thing from the Cleaner Watt video that I found interesting.
Okay.
It's about how Optimus learns from its surroundings.
Didn't we already talk about the shared video maps?
Yeah, but it goes beyond that. Optimus also uses something called reinforcement learning.
Reinforcement learning. What's that?
It's like this AI training where the robot learns through trial and error,
Uh-huh.
gets rewards for doing things right, penalties for mistakes.
So like training a dog with treats and timeouts.
Exactly. By trying a task over and over and getting feedback, Optimus can refine its movements,
Okay.
improve its strategies, and eventually master even really complex actions.
So it's not just about programming it with a set of instructions. It's
Mhm.
about giving it the ability to, like, learn and adapt on its own.
Precisely. And that ability to learn and adapt, that's what's going to make robots really valuable in the real world.
I'm picturing a future where robots are constantly learning,
Mm-hmm.
evolving, getting smarter every day.
It is a bit daunting.
It is exciting, but also kind of scary.
Yeah. But it reminds us that we're not just watching this happen. We have the power to shape this, to make sure it benefits everyone.
That's a good point. We're not passive observers in this.
Definitely not.
We have a say in how this all unfolds.
Exactly.
Really makes you think about that line between science fiction and reality, right?
Hey, no, right.
Just a few years ago, a robot that could fold laundry, play chess, that seemed like something out of a movie.
Yeah,
Now it's almost normal.
it's true. And the pace of change, it's only getting faster.
Okay, so trying to wrap my head around that. Smartphones, they're like extensions of us now, right? Connect us, inform us, entertain us. Are you saying robots could be like that, but on an even bigger scale?
It's definitely possible. Imagine robots just seamlessly integrated into our homes, workplaces, communities.
Okay.
They could help with tasks that are dangerous for humans or just like super repetitive or take way too much time.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Think about elder care. We have an aging population, growing need for caregivers.
Yeah.
Robots could help fill that gap.
Okay.
A robot companion that could assist with daily stuff, monitor vital signs, even offer like emotional support.
That's a really interesting idea.
Right.
Could help seniors stay independent, have a good quality of life, and families would worry less.
Exactly. And it's not just elder care. Robots could also be super helpful in like disaster relief, search and rescue, even space exploration.
Oh, space exploration. Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Always been fascinated by that. What could robots do there?
Think about exploring Mars, the ocean depths. These are places that are really harsh for humans.
Yeah, dangerous.
But robots, they'd thrive there. They could collect data, do experiments, even build structures.
Wow.
Basically pave the way for us.
Robots as pioneers. That's kind of a beautiful thought.
It is.
It's not just helping us, it's expanding what we know, exploring places we can't even get to.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm on board with this robot revolution. But before we get too carried away with the future, let's come back to the present for a sec. We've talked a lot about the good stuff, but are there downsides, risks to this tech that we should be worried about?
That's a crucial question. And it's one we have to address head on. Like any powerful tech, robots could be misused or have unintended consequences.
Give me an example. What kind of risks are we talking about?
One concern is job displacement.
Yeah, right. We talked about that a bit earlier.
As they get more capable, more affordable, they could replace human workers.
But is that, inevitable? Will robots just steal our jobs? Or can we use this tech in a way that creates new opportunities, benefits everyone?
I think it comes down to how we adapt, evolve alongside these technologies. Instead of seeing them as a threat, we need to see them as a chance to rethink how we work, what skills matter, the education and training we give to future generations.
So it's not humans versus robots.
No.
It's humans and robots working together.
Exactly. Using the strengths of both to build a better society.
I like that. But even if we figure out the economic stuff, there's still other risks, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like robots being used for bad things or to invade our privacy.
Those are valid concerns.
Right.
Like any tool, they can be used for good or bad.
Right.
It's on us to make sure they're developed and used responsibly, ethically.
So safeguards, regulations, ethical guidelines.
All of that.
Making sure robots help us, not hurt us.
That's the goal.
Okay, makes sense. But even with all that, is there still a risk that robots could get, too smart, too powerful, and we lose control?
That's the classic sci-fi question, right?
Yeah.
It's a valid concern. But we have to remember, we're the ones creating this tech.
True.
We have the power to shape it, guide it, make sure it serves us, not the other way around.
So it comes down to human choices, human values, human responsibility?
Exactly. The future of robotics, it's not set in stone. It's a future we're building together, one decision at a time.
Okay, that's a powerful message. Gives me hope amidst all the, uncertainty.
Good.
But before we get too lost in the big picture, back to those sources you were looking at.
Okay.
Anything else that stood out? Any detail we missed that you think our listener would find interesting?
One more thing. Not a specific detail, but a theme I noticed across all of them.
Oh, I like themes. What is it?
It's the focus on human-centered design.
Human-centered design. What's that mean for robots?
Designing robots that aren't just functional,
Okay.
but also intuitive, easy to use, even aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, interesting.
It's about robots that make our lives better, not more complicated.
So not just robots that can do stuff, but robots people actually want to interact with.
Right.
Robots that feel more like partners.
Exactly. And that's a really positive trend.
Yeah.
Because in the end, robotics will only be successful if it can become a natural part of our lives.
Right. It has to fit in, make things better.
Exactly.
Okay. That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
We've covered so much in this deep dive, the technical stuff, the big philosophical questions, explored the benefits, the risks, how important it is that we're responsible for shaping all of this.
And we've seen that robotics isn't just about building machines.
Right.
It's about building a better future for all of us.
Well said. To our listener out there, we hope this deep dive got you thinking and that you keep exploring this amazing world of robots.
Remember, the future's not something that just happens.
Right.
It's something we create. And with robotics, the possibilities are really endless.
So true. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The future's out there waiting to be built.
Couldn't agree more.